Hey there, fellow gardeners. Welcome back to Golden Vault Garden. If you're anything like me, you're already planning for next year's garden. Because let's face it, the best gardens aren't planted in the spring. They're planned and started now. Yes, I'm talking about December. And believe it or not, there's a lot you can get started with for an early, massive harvest. Stick around as we explore the 9 seeds you absolutely must sow this month before it's too late. Before we dive in, if you love gardening tips and tricks like these, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. It helps the channel grow and keeps you in the loop with all the latest gardening content. All right, let's dive into one of the best crops to start right now: onions and leeks. If you've ever grown onions, you know they can take their sweet time to develop. But starting them in December gives them the perfect head start for massive bulbs come spring. I'm talking about those juicy, sweet, and gigantic onions. Think Elsa Craig, Walla Walla, or exhibition varieties. These onions are the kind that'll make your neighbors seriously jealous. Now, why December, you ask? Well, onions are a bit like the overachievers of the gardening world. They need that long growing season, and the sooner you get them started indoors, the sooner they can develop those strong, healthy roots. You'll want to give them 10 to 12 weeks inside before transplanting them into the ground in spring. Plenty of time for them to grow sturdy and strong. The best part? By the time those warm spring days roll around, your onions will already be on their way to becoming those big, bulbous beauties we all dream of. And don't forget about leeks. They're practically the same. Get them started indoors, and you'll have those tender, sweet stalks ready to harvest by summer. The key to success here is patience. Start those onions indoors for 10 to 12 weeks, and when it's time to transplant them, you'll be putting them into the soil already several steps ahead. Trust me, your future self will thank you when those giant onions are ready to hit your kitchen. Now, let's move on to one of my personal favorites, shallots. If you've never tried growing them from seed, December is the perfect time to start. Shallots are like the sophisticated cousins of onions, but they're even more rewarding when you grow them yourself. By starting them now, you're giving them the best shot at reaching their full potential. Shallots follow the same timeline as onions, so just like our onion friends, they benefit from a long head start. When you sow them in December, you'll be looking at massive clusters come summer, ready to harvest and add that rich, mellow flavor to all your dishes. Trust me, there's nothing like the taste of homegrown shallots. Whether you're adding them to salads, roasting them, or using them in sauces, growing them from seed brings a whole new level of satisfaction to your cooking. The great thing about shallots is that they're super easy to grow. You just need to start them in seed trays, and they'll take care of the rest. Plus, they're a great way to expand your garden's variety without needing a ton of space. And the best part? You'll be the proud gardener with big, beautiful shallot clusters long before most others even think about planting them. Just like onions, give them a cozy indoor start for about 10 to 12 weeks before transplanting them. You'll be harvesting fresh shallots in no time, and trust me, once you grow them yourself, you'll never want to buy them again. All right, let's talk about one of the ultimate early season crops, broad beans, also known as fava beans. These guys are perfect if you're aiming to get a jump on your spring harvest. They're a great choice for December sowing because they thrive in cooler weather, and starting them now means you'll be picking those fresh beans way ahead of the curve. You know what that means? Bragging rights all around. Now, you've got 2 options here. You can either direct sow them in the garden, or if you're in a colder zone, starting them in pots is the way to go. The beauty of starting them in pots is that you can give them that early head start, and once the weather warms up, you'll be able to move them into the garden without missing a beat. This is the secret to getting that early crop. My personal favorite variety? Aqua Dolce Claudia. It's reliable, hardy, and does exceptionally well in the cooler months. You can't go wrong with it. By starting your broad beans in December, you're setting yourself up for the earliest possible crop, and nothing beats walking out to your garden and harvesting fresh beans when everyone else is still waiting for spring to fully kick in. If you want to give your beans the best shot at an early harvest, start them in pots. They'll grow quicker, and you'll be ready to transplant them into the garden as soon as the weather allows. You'll be harvesting those beans by early spring, and trust me, nothing beats those fresh, homegrown fava beans, perfect for all your early season meals. Hey you! Yes, you! The person watching this video. Are you enjoying this gardening tip? If yes, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. You don't want to miss any gardening tip. Peas, anyone? If you're craving fresh, homegrown peas as early as possible, then early peas are definitely the way to go. These little gems are cold hardy and actually love the cooler weather. That's why December is the perfect time to get them started. You can't beat the satisfaction of walking out to your garden in spring and picking peas while everyone else is still waiting for the weather to warm up. Now, I'm talking about varieties like Meteor and Felto First. These peas are absolute cold weather champions and are perfect for sowing in December. The great thing about them is that they're hardy enough to handle a bit of frost, so whether you're starting them undercover in a colder zone or you're lucky enough to have milder conditions, they're going to thrive. The best part? By sowing these peas now, you're setting yourself up for that early spring harvest. We're talking fresh peas by May. Yes, you heard that right, May. Imagine making your first pea salad or tossing them into a pasta dish before most gardeners even get their peas in the ground. That's the power of early peas. If you're in a colder zone, go ahead and start them undercover. It'll give them the protection they need while still letting them get a head start. Either way, you'll be picking fresh peas ahead of the crowd, and that's always a win in my book. All right, garlic lovers, this one's for you. If you missed the chance to plant your garlic in the fall, don't worry. December is still your golden opportunity. It's actually the perfect time to get garlic into the ground if you want those huge, juicy bulbs come summer. Trust me, there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of harvesting your own garlic, and it's so worth the wait. All you have to do is grab those individual garlic cloves, break them apart from the bulb, and pop them into the soil. Simple, right? But here's the kicker. December is prime garlic planting time. The longer you let those cloves establish their roots, the bigger and juicier your bulbs will be. I mean, just imagine pulling out a giant homegrown bulb of garlic next summer and using it in your kitchen. Can you smell that garlic bread yet? I know I can. And here's a bonus. If you really want a bumper crop, get those cloves in the ground now. The earlier you plant, the more time your garlic has to grow, and the bigger those bulbs will be by harvest time. Honestly, there's no better way to step up your cooking game than with fresh, homegrown garlic, and it's incredibly easy to grow. Don't stress if you didn't get it in the ground earlier. December planting will still give you a bountiful harvest, and when it's garlic season, you'll be laughing all the way to the kitchen. Let's talk about spinach. One of the most underrated and incredible vegetables to grow, especially in December. Spinach actually loves the cold, which makes it perfect for this time of year. If you've ever struggled with growing greens in the heat of summer, spinach is your answer. It thrives in the cooler months, and starting it now means you'll have fresh greens all through winter and a big flush of leafy goodness come spring. Whether you're growing winter spinach or perpetual varieties, both are fantastic choices. Winter spinach is ideal for the cold months, while perpetual spinach is great for year-round harvesting. You can get those tender baby leaves all through the chilly months, adding a burst of green to your meals, even in the middle of winter. And let's be real, there's nothing quite like fresh spinach. It's delicious in salads, smoothies, sautéed, or tossed into a warm soup. And the best part? It's so easy to grow. You can sow it under cover for an early jump start, or let it grow directly in your garden if you're in a milder climate. Either way, you're looking at an amazing harvest. For the best results, sow your spinach under cover. This will protect it from extreme cold while giving you an early spring harvest. Trust me, once you get a taste of that homegrown spinach, you'll never want to go back to store-bought again. All right, let's move on to one of the most essential crops for any garden: hardy lettuce and salad greens. These are the true heroes of the winter garden, and starting them in December is the secret to fresh, crunchy greens all year long. Varieties like Winter Density, Arctic King, and Rouge d'Hiver are perfect for this time of year. They're cold hardy and absolutely thrive when the temperatures drop. These salad greens aren't just for spring or summer. They're made for the winter months. By sowing them now, you're setting yourself up for an early spring harvest. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than fresh, homegrown lettuce when everyone else is still waiting for their gardens to warm up. Imagine having those crisp, fresh leaves ready to toss into a salad or put on a sandwich in early spring. Talk about a head start. And the best part? These greens love the cold. You don't have to worry about them wilting away in the frost. They actually thrive in it, which is why they're perfect for sowing now. Plus, the cold makes them even sweeter. Yes, I said sweeter. You'll get that perfect blend of tenderness and flavor that store-bought greens just can't match. These winter varieties are your secret to early greens. Start them now, and you'll be enjoying fresh lettuce much earlier than your neighbors. Trust me, it's totally worth it. All right, if you're enjoying this video, I want you to pause this video, click that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications button. You don't want to miss the next garden tips I'm going to post. Let's talk about adding a burst of color to your garden, because who doesn't love that, right? Calendula and other hardy annual flowers are a fantastic choice for December sowing. Not only will they give your garden a beautiful, vibrant glow, but they're also incredibly useful. These flowers are tough as nails and will bloom come April or May, filling your garden with color at a time when most other plants are still getting started. Calendula, in particular, is one of my absolute favorites. It's not just pretty, it's also an amazing companion plant. Plant it alongside your veggies, and it'll help protect them by attracting beneficial insects and deterring pests. Plus, those vibrant orange and yellow blooms are perfect for brightening up any corner of your garden. Imagine waking up to a sea of bright calendula flowers in the spring. Trust me, it's worth the wait. But that's not all. Calendula and other hardy annuals are fantastic for attracting pollinators like bees and butterflies. And let's face it, we can never have enough of those in our gardens. So while you're enjoying the beautiful blooms, you'll also be doing your part to support the local ecosystem. It's a win-win. Calendula blooms are a secret weapon when it comes to attracting pollinators. So if you want a garden that's both stunning and buzzing with life, get those seeds in the ground now and let the color and pollinators flow in. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about sweet peas, one of the most beautiful and rewarding flowers you can grow. If you've never grown them before, here's the deal. The earlier you sow them, the better. That's why December and January are the perfect time to start. These flowers love the cool weather, and when given that early head start, they'll reward you with towering vines and an abundance of blooms come spring. I mean, who doesn't want a garden full of sweet-smelling, colorful sweet peas? The trick with sweet peas is to start them indoors, preferably in root trainer pots. These pots give the plants the space they need to develop strong roots early on. By starting them now, you're giving them the time to grow tall, strong, and ready to explode with flowers once spring arrives. When they're finally ready to go outside, your sweet peas will already be several steps ahead, and you'll have those lush, fragrant vines growing up your trellises in no time. To really help them thrive, plant them in a spot where they can climb, whether it's a trellis, a fence, or even a nearby wall. Sweet peas love to grow tall, and with a little extra space to stretch, they'll reward you with tons of blooms and a delightful scent that fills the garden. Trust me, they're totally worth the wait. So there you have it. 9 perfect seeds to sow this December if you want to be the first in your neighborhood with those giant early crops. These are the ones that need the long head start, and they really perform when sown now. So I want to hear from you. Which of these seeds are you most excited to plant this December? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you found this helpful. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from Golden Vault Garden. Until next time, happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.